Alright, so let's start talking about nested classes. This class is getting pretty big, so I'm gonna make another class called skyscraper. Or actually no, we're gonna do office building. We're gonna make an office building, um, you know, for like your dentist and stuff. So let's do new class, and then we're gonna name this office building, and then we're going to inherit from building. Open up that. Now it's expecting market price. So we'll just open up a constructor here so we can pass in what they expect. Honestly, I'm just gonna go to apartments and take all the overridden values. So I'm gonna just take these four, and then open this up, paste that in, and then we'll have a market price. Market price, and then we're gonna make this a double, right? So now the person can pass in market price, and that market price will be passed into building because they're expecting a market price for the building. And then I also want to make a map for the list of corporations that are in this, or a map of corporations that are in this building, and it's gonna have the room number that the office number that that corporation is using. So we're gonna do corporations, and then we're gonna do open that up, a map, open that up, make that int, and make that a string. So now in here we're gonna make a private variable, and we're gonna make that equal to corporations, and that is going to be a map and an int and a string, and then we're just gonna go into this init block so that we can initialize corporations. So it's gonna be this star corporations is equal to corporations, so that should take that away. Alright, now we can start talking a little bit about the nested class. To create a nested class, we simply just need to place a class within a class. As the name implies, it's a nested class. So we have this office building class, and now we want to create another class called storage, which will be a class specific to storing items based on the corporations that's in the office building. So let's just put that class keyword, use storage, and then open up some brackets or curly braces, and then now we can start defining some properties within this nested class. Now the interesting thing about nested class is, yes, it's within another class, but we do not have access to properties within the enclosing class. So just because we have this class storage inside of office building, we do not have access to corporations or any of the properties that we define in this enclosing class of office building. So storage is its own space. We can create our own property specifically for storage. So let's call this new property. I'm gonna make this var storage items, and it's going to be we're just gonna make it a map. Well, actually no, I'll pass the value through the storage primary constructor, which we could do. It's a class within a class, but it still does have its own primary constructor. And we're gonna make this val storage items, and then we're gonna make this a map. I still want to make it a string, or an int and a string, because we're gonna use the corporation's room number, and we're gonna use string to pass in whatever item it is. You could make this a list or another map, or a list or a map if you want to, but I'm just gonna make it a string so I can pass in one value. And then I just use init, and I actually do need to make another var storage item map, and I am going to make this a map, and then I'm gonna make this private actually because I don't want to give people access to do it. You can make another function that puts values into a map if need be, but that have to be a mutable map. And then make this a string, and then this dot storage item map equals storage items. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how do I get access of this class within the class? Alright, so let's go back to our main, and it's not just as easy as just implementing this office building, which is holding our nested class, and just doing office building dots. It's not even going to be seen. I could put S and IntelliJ or Kotlin doesn't see it, but what I need to do is get the class that's enclosing it. So in this case it's office building, then use dot notation to see what's within that class. And now I can get storage, and now I can use that primary constructor to pass in values that I defined. So in this case I created a map parameter for the storage items, and now I can do or create a map of different corporations. So now I'm just going to do 101, and that's going to be to Starbucks. Boom. So now we have office building, which is referencing back to the storage nested class that we created, and through this nested class I am passing a map, and with that map I am storing the storage items to the private map that I created within my init block. So now I want to create a function that will allow us to print out what the corporation is storing. So we'll do a fun and then print storage item. So then we'll just go to pass in a index or a room number, and that's going to be an int. And with that int, we'll check if the map has, let me fix this misspelling. We'll check if that room number has anything in the storage. So we'll just print out, or we'll do an if statement first that will check if storage item map at the room number is not equal to null, to check if it actually does have a value. And if it's not equal to null, then I can print out the storage item map at that room number. Else, then print out no storage item. Now if I go back to the main and I do and I'm gonna make, because this is an instance of storage right here, so I can put this as a variable that holds that instance of storage. I'm gonna make that equal to that, and then I can do storage dot print storage items, and then I can pass in a 101 because that's within the map right here. And let me just comment these out. Now if I run this, obviously it's going to print out the current value of each instance that I create of building, because I have a init in building that print out the market price. But besides that, you are able to see that I have a map that's printing out Starbucks or whatever item that I'm storing in this storage. So it's its own space. Storage is its own space. It's nested, but I can still have an instance of it, and I can pass it to this. I can have this storage variable that holds an instance of storage just by using the enclosing class, then using dot notation to retrieve that instance or that class of storage, and then create an instance of it by passing in the necessary parameters if you are using any values in the primary constructor, or you can use an empty primary constructor. And just because it's enclosed in this parent class does not mean that you can't use it like a regular class by giving it a parameter and using that value in a constructor and all that. So this is an example of a nested class. Now you're probably wondering, what if we do want to use the properties that the enclosing class has to offer? So what if we do want access to this corporation property from within this nested class of storage? Well, there is another keyword that we can use called inner, and all we gotta do is plug that from, in front of the nested class declaration, and now we have access to corporations. So now to use that, all we gotta do is, so first, now that I have access to the property from within the enclosing class, I want to check if corporations room number and storage item map room number both is not null, so that I can print out the name of the corporation and that I can print out the item that that corporation has. So I'll just add in an and, which I believe that's 2 ampersands. I think that's what they're called, ampersand. And then we'll do corporations, and as you guys can see, I can see it now. Before, when I took inner, when I didn't have inner, corporations was not showing up because I didn't have access to it. But with the inner keyword, I do, and now it's not going to get mad at me. And then I can use the room number, and as long as that is not equal to null, right, we should be good to go. So I'll print out, actually now I just make it in 1. So I'll print out the corporations and use that room number to get the string value, and then I'll just, actually I'll plug this into a string so I can put in a colon to make it a little bit cleaner. And then I'll use a $sign string template and open that up. Put a little colon in between. Oh, I missed the $. Then plug that in there, and now we should be good to go. Alright, so we got to make sure that the map is, holding a specific room number for that corporation, and that corporation has that item within the storage, so that they're both not null. So now if I go back into the application, but now we got to actually pass in a constructor, and honestly we already have an instance right here, so all we got to do, made a mistake there, open that back up. All we got to do is, let me comment this out, and now I can just take this instance of office building, and now I have access to storage, and I can just pass in this map right here. Actually, I'm not gonna pass in the exact map. I'm gonna pass in the storage value, or the storage items, and we're gonna use that same room number, and we're just gonna have some coffee inside storage. Now if I want to print out the storage, I can now use office building and then use .print storage item. Pretty neat. Now if I run this for 101, now it's saying Starbucks, I got some coffee, because now I'm passing in first the corporations, the room number at 101 is Starbucks, and now I have an item within the storage for room number 101 to hold some coffee. That's a plane flies by my house. So now if I go back into the office building, I have access to corporations from within this inner class. I am passing that storage items to hold within this private storage item map, and then I'm just checking if storage item and corporation is not null for that room number, and then if it's not null for both of them, then that means they're correct, and I can print it out. Obviously you can make that if statement we can make it more strict, but we're just gonna keep it simple here. So yeah, that's an inner class. So if you guys do want properties or access to the properties from your enclosing class, you can do that. Thanks for watching.